and now it wants to be slow.
It's all good, John. Just appreciate you taking the time. I know you guys are real busy.
Yeah, I work in the evenings. I've been trying to get to days so I can do a little bit more of this, especially investigating.
Yeah, I was perusing your Facebook group, the cryptid group that you started. How's that going?
It's going pretty good. I've got almost 600 people.
Are they all hunters or are they just enthusiasts?
Both.
Yeah.
Now I can't find the money. Hang on.
We're totally hanging on. We love it, man. We're ready when you are. Well, so it just while we're getting ready, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I grew up in a little town called Osawatomie, Kansas.
In Kansas?
Yeah.
My wife is from Kansas. What part of Kansas? Where is that close to? Is it close to Wichita?
No, it's closer to Kansas City.
Oh, so it's on the other side of the state. Okay.
No, what?
You're on the north side of the state.
Nah, it's kind of northeast.
Yeah.
About 40 miles or so, and from Kansas City.
Yeah. You know what strikes me about Kansas is how flat everything is.
Everybody says that, even the comedians. What's even funnier, my sister's name is Dorothy.
Oh, her name is Dorothy? We're not in Kansas anymore. I bet she got that a ton of times. I bet everybody told her that.
Yeah. She's got a really good sense of humor. And
did she get a little Scottish Terrier to keep her company?
Yes, she did, and named it Toto.
That's fantastic. Yeah, my wife is from just south of Wichita, a little town called Wellington, Kansas. And
I know where that is.
Yeah, her dad was the water management or wastewater and drink water management. And I climbed up on the water tower. They live right next to the water tower, and I climbed up on the water tower, and I could see all the way to Kansas City from there.
Yeah. Or you didn't see all the way to the Canadian border.
Well, yeah, you almost could. You could almost get that far.
I think I got it up and going.
Yeah, just hop in whenever you're ready. So, do you still live in Kansas?
No, I live here in Arkansas.
Great to see you, John. So, tell me, you live in Arkansas. I have some relatives.
Can you guys hear me good?
We hear you just fine. Perfect. How about us? Can you hear us? Can you hear us, John? You're looking good.
Yeah, what was funny is, yeah, I can hear you guys great. I was seeing.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
So, yes. So tell us how you got into squatching. Tell us what squatching is, how you got into it.
Okay. Oh, go.
Go ahead.
Back in 87, 88, around in there, I was stationed down by in Mayport, Florida, by Jacksonville, and I was taking a friend home one night, and she lived like way out in the middle of nowhere, and west of Jacksonville, and got her to her house, went, made sure she was safe, and then I started driving back, and all of a sudden I see this huge hairy creature, and it did its normal deal. Well, two steps and it was across the highway,
No.
and
Okay.
I was like, "What the f was that?" And I was like, "Holy moly!" And my buddy that went with me, supposed to be the co-pilot, he was asleep. And I was like, "Man, I think Chewbacca just walked across the road," because that's the way it looked. I was like, "Wow." And well, I've always been interested in different creatures and all that too.
So where
Since I
was
was
that?
little.
Where did that take place? Where did you see Chewbacca? Go ahead, Jim.
I can't remember the road, but it was like west of Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, okay. So down in the south, way south.
And what was weird is here lately they've been talking about sightings and stuff in and around the area, and I was like, I know they're out there.
Do you
So
believe that they're everywhere? Like there's many or one or just
Yeah,
kind
me
of
and my
travels
buddy,
across the country?
Robert, we go out all the time and look for evidence.
What kind of evidence have you found?
I believe, like like humans, they adapt to their environment, so they're pretty much the same, but they've adapted over years. And
So
seems like there's a bit of a lag. So if you need to talk over us, you go ahead.
yeah, and also, oh, sorry.
It's okay. If you need to talk over us, you go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, on my Facebook. Uh,
Yeah, tell
okay,
us
I'm
about the.
sorry. Every
It's okay.
once in a
Tell us
while,
about
it's
the.
like real choppy.
Yeah. Tell us
But
about you.
we
Go ahead. Tell us.
found. Well, I found one teepee structure, and my buddy. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Go.
But he found two different ones in two different places by the lakes. One down by Fayetteville Lake, and one not too far from me is Beaver Lake.
what did you find? You found a teepee set?
All right. I'm gonna give you a call, John, and see if that helps a little bit.
Okay. Audio not working right.
All right, John. Sorry about that. It sounds like we've got a little bit of a lag issue, so we're going to try and do it like this. How's that?
Okay. This sounds it sounds good to me.
All right, John. A little bit of a lag issue. So can you mute your computer so that we can?
Hang on 1 second.
Yep. Computer so that we can.
Dang it. I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. Kind of work this out so we can get everybody on the same page.
Okay. How's that?
Sounds really good.
Okay.
All right. So you were telling us about the Chewbacca and you were telling us about the evidence. So tell me a little bit about how you select a place to hunt.
A lot of times it's like like someone will be talking to Robert and they're like, well, the other night we seen something big go across the road with green eyes, yellow eyes, or something like that. And he'll ask him to, if he can come out and we can do some squatching. A lot of times we set up like trail cams, and occasionally we'll put out like a little candy bar or something like that, see if that'll draw them in.
What
So
are the hot spots?
Yes. What are some of the hot spots? Yeah.
A lot of people probably where I live probably won't believe it, but actually there's a lake about a couple miles from me that it's called Lake Atlanta, and I've been all through that, and I found, the teepee structure, and there's ample amount of food. There's like wild raspberries. There's fresh water. They could probably go down by the lake, catch a fish or something.
Can you describe the teepee structures?
I've had, I was in one area and I had something that kept throwing rocks at me, and I was like, time to leave.
Okay. We've got a little bit of our own little Sasquatch legend in Arizona. That's where we're from. Called the mogollon monster. You've ever heard of that?
The what?
Mogollon monster.
It sounds kind of remember, but not for sure.
Okay. So it seems like you've traveled quite a bit to go hunting for Sasquatch Bigfoot sightings. What are some of the places you have been?
Mainly around where I live, but when I'm able, I'm going to go back up home. A friend of mine, she's constantly by the river fishing, and she says I need to come up there. She's like, in one area there's like footprints like all over the place, and she's like, I know it's a Bigfoot.
About how big is the foot on a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot?
We found one and it was like 17 inches long.
That's huge.
8 inches wide.
Man, 17 inches. That's like this big, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been telling all the women that 12 inches is that.
That's right. You gotta set the proper expectations. Anyway, so tell me about some of the adventures that you've been on. Your first sighting was in 87, 88, driving home. What are some of the other crazy adventures that you've been on? What have you seen?
One time up at Lake Atlanta, you know how they always say that, it gets eerily quiet. Me and Robert were up in there looking around. All the way up, it was birds chirping, squirrels, birds everywhere. Got to the top of the hill, and it was like silent. I mean, we both kind of looked at each other, and I go, "Is it eerily quiet to you too?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I think it might be a good time to get down off of here." I was like, "Yeah," because I don't feel like being Bigfoot's lunch or anything.
Well, okay, so you're out there looking for Sasquatch. You feel Sasquatch around, and you decided you weren't protected enough. Do you carry any firearms? Do you carry any protection with you when you go hunting?
Yes, now I do, because I got the conceal and carry, and I went in and got the enhanced conceal and carry. I carry a Glock 22 that shoots 40 cal, and I have it with hollow point bullets in it.
Well, we don't want you to kill Sasquatch.
I mean, you dead or alive, really.
I mean, I guess
We just need to know the truth. We need to know the truth, Kyle.
Yeah, everybody needs to know the truth, and I believe that if a lot of people would read the Native Nations book lore and all that, because they've been here thousands of years before we were, and if they would read them, they would know that they're around, they've been around, and they have to just accept, because you got someone's like great grandfather is like, I ran into this and this happened, but it is a quite interesting, because I like to read them, because they put a different twist or different view on like Bigfoot or any other cryptid creatures.
Yeah, so let's talk. You said, read a lot of the Native American legends and figure out what are some of those legends that you think are the most persuasive about about what it is, where it comes from.
I believe the Bigfoot, and they even have stories about Dogman or Walking Wolves, and I believe they're true, because I believe they have no reason to lie about this. Their family, friends, they've seen them and they know they're there, but for some reason the government wants to keep them covered up.
Do you think the government knows about it?
Yeah, I've read several different, and watched several different videos, and they pretty much know, but they want to keep it a secret. Supposedly, what I've heard is they want to keep them a secret because they supposedly have this thing that where they can be there 1 minute and then cloak and disappear right before your eyes.
Is that like a natural camouflage, or is it are you saying that's like a technological issue? Is it magic? What are you referring to?
As far as I could tell, it's something they've evolved with.
So it's a natural camouflage.
Mm-hmm. And what they do, I was listening to Jeff Landami, the Dogman Encounters, and he had this guy named Victor on there, and he said I had one in my sights, and like I blinked and it was gone. He like looked all around and it was like poof.
It just disappeared from his sight
Yeah.
like a ghost.
I'd like to get back to the teepees. Like, how are they constructed? How are they made? Are they like, how big are they? Do you have pictures of them?
Did you hear that? Kyle wants to know more about the teepee structure that you found. How big is it? What is it made of?
One I found was probably about 5-6 foot, maybe about the same around. It was a littler one. I don't know. They used it as a marker, or they used it, to put like the juveniles in there while they go look for food.
Like a shelter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the one that my buddy found over by Beaver Lake, it was like 7 to 8 foot, maybe 10 foot around. And you could tell something had been like using it. So we put cameras up, but we never did catch anything. And last weekend, we went back to the area, and it was mysteriously that whole area, like it supposedly looked like it was caught on fire somehow, but you could tell it was like a controlled burn. And the teepee structure and a few other things that we found down in there are like they've been like burned up or taken away.
So what makes you think it was a Bigfoot that constructed the teepee structure? Is that something that they're known to do? Was there other evidence around it?
Yeah, there was the how they do the cross marker or X marker. Sorry. They'll mark trees with X's. Is that what you mean? No, they'll like either take limbs or dead trees, and they'll put them like an X. And most generally on one of the deals, they'll like kind of point it to the way that you're supposed to go.
They'll point the way what's supposed to go.
What direction? Like, okay, go like east or go south.
So it's a compass.
Kinda. It's like telling the other ones, like, okay, go this way.
So they're communicating with others. Hartman, one of our viewers, wants to know, what's the furthest you've ever traveled into the forest?
I know I've been in at least about 5 or 6 miles.
5 or 6 miles from the highway?
Yeah.
I mean, do you camp out? Do you sit there? Like what are your actual tactics? Do you like do anything to like cover up the human scent? You know how like deer hunters will put like deer pee on them to like, mask the scent. Is there any tactics like that you use?
I'm sorry, I'm having like a real hard time hearing Kyle.
It's okay. I'll repeat his question. He basically wants you to walk us through the process of planning a hunt, what a hunt looks like. Is it an overnight thing? What kind of gear do you use? Are you masking your scent with anything? We do. There's a lot of hunting here in Arizona, and we spend a lot of time. So we're just trying to like get a baseline for what a Sasquatch hunt looks like versus, say, an elk hunt or a deer hunt.
So, most generally, like on Saturday night, Robert would call me and say, "Hey, you want to go out and squatch?" And I was like, "Yeah," and go. where we're going. It was like, oh, I know this one place we need to go check out. And most generally we'll like get up early Sunday morning and like I have a backpack that has a lot of things I can use. So if we do find evidence, I can put it in bags. And I even got this stuff that's like what they use to cast footprints, and it's supposed to be stronger than like regular plaster.
Is it plaster Paris? Is that what it is?
It's I got it from Hobby Lobby, and it's supposed to be like set up faster. It's supposed to like
You get a good cast, yeah.
Yeah, to get a good cast, and it's supposed to set up real good, like in half the time plaster Paris does. And basically, what we do is, we'll get to the place. We'll make sure. I always make sure I got like one in the chamber, and then put it back in my holster. So does Robert, and then we'll just like pick a trail and we'll start going down it, and we'll be like, just like kind of slow, just kind of looking around, all around, see if we see anything. A lot of times we'll go off the trail and just kind of look around. And we have, at one place, we have found hair.
Hair?
Yes.
What color was the hair?
It was like a orange, red, and I mean, it's like super thick and really coarse.
Did you take it anywhere to get analyzed, or
did you hear that? He wanted to know if you took it anywhere to get analyzed.
No, not yet. I have it. I still have it in a little container.
Can we see it?
Do you have it handy? Can we take a look?
Oh, now I have to get my backpack. Hang on a second.
You got it.
So I wonder if Sasquatch, why he's getting that, I wonder if Sasquatch, if they pick because of temperature, like you don't have here in Arizona, like the southern part of Arizona, you don't see any like reported sightings.
Yeah, I would say, he's
like
probably a snowbird. Probably a snowbird. Right, with all that hair, he's going to be migrating north and south throughout the year. Absolutely, I think he's going to be migratory. Certainly doesn't want to be. certainly doesn't want to be chilling in Cabo in July.
Like, I wonder, like, where he would take it to get analyzed. I wonder if he's going to take it to like his
a vet,
like,
right?
university. Oh, you could the vet'll analyze the hair.
Maybe, or yeah, like a veterinary program at a local university would do. They'd be able to tell you what kind of game, or maybe even fishing game.
I wonder if he's actually found a footprint to cast.
So I'll have him come back, but on this cryptid Facebook group, he does have a lot of pictures of footprints. So we'll see if he has any castings too that maybe he could share.
I want to get more in depth in how they go invisible. Like, do they stand like Drax? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Or like it's hard to believe that they evolved into like the Predator, where they can like I wonder what kind of like that's a lot of like evolutionary escalating.
Well, okay, so that's a great question, and I don't know. I'm not an expert in Sasquatch at all. Right? That's why we're talking to John. But I would say that type of, vanishing, if it's natural camouflage, then there's only so many things that it could be.
Yes.
Right? Either it's bending the light in some way, or it's changing color. There are some very expert natural camouflagers. Like there's they call it the cuttlefish. It's kind of squid that can just change colors instantly, and it can even match patterns.
Even like some lizards and stuff, how they can adapt to their.
It's more of a chameleon. It's more of a chameleon than a chameleon. Like a cuttlefish, they've tested it by putting it on a checkerboard pattern floor, and it will turn into checkerboard patterns itself. It can also change shape.
So it changed like red and black.
White and black. There was a white and black checkerboard, and it had white and black checkerboard pattern on it. It can also change shape.
Like it wasn't half and half. It was like.
It was checkerboard pattern. It was crazy. Any luck, John?
Huh?
Did you find it?
Yeah.
Yeah, hold it up to the camera there. We're going to take a look at this hair. Okay. Wow, look at that.
So it looks like it's thicker and like more coarse.
Yeah, looks like pubes.
You got Sasquatch pubes.
Yeah, squatch pubes. Woo!
That'd be about my luck.
So where are you going to take this to get analyzed when you get a moment?
Would you take it to like a veterinarian? Where would you take it?
I'm not really sure. I know, thought about sending it to Lance Hightower. He has his own, podcast, and he also goes out and they hunt with his brothers. I don't know if I send it to him or one of these days maybe take it down to Fayetteville. They have a university down there.
University of Arkansas? Yeah.
Yeah. Go Hogs.
All right.
Well, you know what would be a good idea is like how many hairs were there? There was like 6 or 7.
Go on.
Sending it to different places to see if you get different results.
Oh, that's a great idea. Did you hear that? Kyle says maybe send a different sample, send an individual hair to one place and another hair to another place. See if they come up with the same answers.
Yeah. A lot of time, I don't know what it is, but they'll always send it back and saying it's like part human, and it's like, oh, it's contaminated. But I was watching a video with Native and they were talking about the creation.
Uh-huh.
They said that Bigfoot were the first people, and the star people came to Earth, and they used the Bigfoot's DNA and their own DNA to make Homo sapiens.
Okay.
So star people is it like extraterrestrial life?
Star people is like extraterrestrial life, Kyle says.
Yeah, like ancient astronauts.
The ancient astronaut theorists say possible. Okay. We've had some of the ancient aliens guys come on our show too, so it's kind of neat that we're tying these things together. Okay, so one of the things that Kyle was asking was, can you repeat that, Kyle? Your last question.
Oh, you said something about it being contaminated. What is it? What do they mean? What do they say is contaminated with?
Yeah, Kyle was asking, did they explain to you in what way it was contaminated? Did they say that there was some human hair in it? Or did they say that the hair itself was human to some degree? Like, how did they explain the contamination when you got a test?
what they said on the video that I was watching, these people's different researchers sent in like hair to different places, and pretty much they all come back as it has like it's like the mother's side DNA is like human, and the father's side is like unknown. And it's like, okay.
That's pretty weird.
Did they dig into the mother's side then to see like the family origin of the mother and try to find out who the actual mother was? Because
Yeah, well, she
I
was,
can imagine giving birth to like a baby squatch as a human, because
right.
the way we're built, women are having trouble.
I mean, Kyle, come on. It's not that unreasonable. We see the Kardashians dating these humongous basketball players all the time.
But I know, but I see like what I was saying is like as we're evolving, it's getting harder for women to have babies, and I can imagine it, a bigger, bulkier like Sasquatch.
So what Kyle wants to know is, did they explore this idea of the mother being human any further in the research that you did?
No, they just like kind of said, oh, it's contaminated. It has human DNA in it. And it just kind of like brushed it off.
They just left it at that. They didn't explore or examine any further.
You would think that they would try to dig deeper, try to find the person and talk to them. Like, was it like, did you get wined and dined? Were you out camping and like he hit on you? Like, you know what I mean? Like how does that Sasquatch intercourse happen? Like,
has that come across your message board yet, John? Have you had any women come on and talk about whining and dining with Sasquatch?
I think that's pretty funny.
Okay, so I'll take that as a no. No, that hasn't happened. Hartman wants to know if you know how big a Sasquatch penis is. I think we've kind of got stuck on this kind of sexual thing, but like,
so the new term could be hung like a Sasquatch.
like I feel like we've already kind of covered it. It's a full 12 inches, right? Full 12 inches.
What I've heard is definitely on reports when they see a male, it goes, you could tell it was a male. It had a penis.
It's dragging in the dirt.
Well, let's not get crazy. Oh, he's over 6 feet tall and he's got a big and he's swinging. Oh my gosh, he'd be the hit on Bumble for sure.
I guess a Bigfoot would put a porn star to shame.
Yikes. Well, okay, so we've gone pretty in depth about Bigfoot, but I know that your Facebook group, involves other cryptids as well. What are some of the other cryptids that you like to look for?
Dogman.
Tell me what that is. What's a dog man? What's a dog man?
Basically, from all the reports and on videos that I've watched, everybody that has had an encounter says it looks like, in Van Helsing, the black werewolf.
Yeah.
They say it looks almost exactly like that.
Just like a giant wolf standing on its hind legs walking around?
Yeah. Seeing, I think it's like Tennessee or Kentucky, in and around that area. They call them the walking wolves.
They're like the Egyptian gods with Doberman faces.
Some of them have Doberman faces, but a lot of them, the most common, have like a wolf snout, just like the Egyptian god made with a wolf, and that was like their children.
So what turned you on to the dog race or the dog men? What turned you on to looking for them?
When I first heard about it, I was like, "Oh, come on, this is some BS." And I was like, kept listening and listening, and everybody, that had an encounter was basically the same. Like Bigfoot, there's a little bit of variance in them. Some of them look more like a hyena. Some of them have like the real long pointed ears, but most of them have like a wolf, like a wolf head, but it's like they took it and stretched it and made it like 2 or 3 times bigger.
Wow.
So if you did come to one of these, what would your way to, I'm assuming instead of shooting it, you would first try to communicate with it if it didn't seem hostile. How would you go about trying to communicate with it? You assume that they don't speak English, so like lights.
All right, let me
dance.
Let me ask him. So Kyle wants to know, when you do finally come across one of these beings, how do you intend to communicate with it, if at all? Are you just gonna shoot first, ask questions later, or is there a communication strategy?
I will try to communicate and say, hey, I'm here. I'm not gonna hurt you. Basically,
So you're on the notion that they speak English.
Wrong, but if it's looks like it's gonna start, attacking, yeah, that's be my absolute last resort, because what they talk about the Bigfoots, when you look at their face, it's like the almost human face, and a lot of people was like had encounters, and they said they went to shoot and they were looking through their scope, and they said their face, looked so much like a human that they couldn't do it. It'd be like shooting a person.
So is there generally in your community, is there a general feeling that talking is effective, that they would be able to understand what you're saying? Or is there maybe some reluctance to that notion?
Like I would try like a grunting or a growling or try to see what that one does first, and then try to like mimic it in a sense.
Yeah. So Kyle wants to know, is everybody in your group of the same mind that it would be English, or would you try to use maybe some grunting and some more primitive communication strategies?
I've always heard, like if you're a native Indian person, to speak your native tongue, and they'll understand that. But since I don't know it, I would try to use English.
Do you have an idea of maybe what, I mean, okay, so we were talking about the dogmen, and we got back on Sasquatch, but no, it's not your fault at all.
It's mine.
We just appreciate you taking the time to talk with us about this passion of yours. The question I have is there some kind of consensus about maybe the lifespan of any of these creatures? Are people running into the same being repeatedly, or if there's somebody who's had repeat encounters, are they seeing a different one each time?
There's some people that have seen, multiple, had multiple encounters with different ones, or, they've seen one enough to know what it looks like, and it's like, Oh, okay. It's the same one, but both Dogman and Sasquatch are they
Pretty elusive,
they
I would say.
migrate. They go from like way up. From what I've heard, they go way up into Maine and all that during the summer, and then during the winter, there are like trails and stuff that they use, and they go. Some of them go down into Mexico and even into South America.
Yeah.
And they migrate back and forth like that.
Must be hard to get over the wall.
It's not hard at all, Kyle. It's not hard to get over the wall at all. Happens every day. Anyway, there was a little bit of political humor there. Kyle was asking if it's hard to get over the southern border wall, and I was like, no.
No, they just kind of like jump it and like it's no big thing.
All right, so aside from the Sasquatch, aside from the Dogman, are there any other cryptids that you're fascinated with?
I'm really fascinated with mermaids.
Mermaids.
Yes.
Where? What brought that fascination on?
I'm not really sure, but it's just like, man, I found out about them. I'm just like totally fascinated because, you know, we have all this, these cryptic creatures on land. I was like, why not have them in the ocean too?
Sure. So one of the things when you were talking about the castings, the footprint castings, we were wondering if you had any available at home that you could show us.
No, I haven't found a good enough footprint to actually cast. It's like you could tell that they've been there a while, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you have any other evidence, we'd love to see it. But otherwise, tell me more about the community that you've put together. And you said you had about 600 people. Do you guys get together on a regular basis and share your stories and your evidence?
We get online. Well, we go to the website and basically we'll post. I've been thinking about maybe doing a podcast here and there, but I definitely would have to get the stuff so I could set it up. And then bring people on there from the website or the Facebook page and have them talk, you know, about their encounters. Because my friend Becky that's up from my hometown, she's like, man, dude, they're everywhere around here. They don't think that, you know, they're in Kansas, but yes, they are. And she goes, next time I come up, she wants to take me down by the river and show her. She's like, there's like a lot of huge footprints, and you can tell other stuff. And I was like, I definitely need to get up there.
Have you ever been to the Texas Bigfoot Conference?
No, I want to go, but I don't know what's going on with my vehicle. And I was like, I'm about ready to like light a stick of dynamite and kick it down a hill.
Okay, fair enough. Well, that's fine. It seems like there is a lot of community around people who have seen these things. Seems like there's so much evidence or so much eyewitness accounts of having seen a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch, and yet the photos are so elusive. And it just is, it's a head scratcher for a lot of us. They must have some very strong natural camouflage that allows them to kind of flip in and out of our eyesight. What are your thoughts on that?
A lot of people say that they can, it's like the theorists that they have, what they do is like they can like zoom in and out of like different dimensions or different realities, and that's why they disappear. You know, I kind of like, I don't know about that.
What are your thoughts? What do you think?
I think, you know, yeah, it's possible, but to me, highly unlikely. And to me, Bigfoot, Dogman, supposedly they've been around for centuries, and to me, they're flesh and blood cryptids, and it's just like some of that it gets way out there, and it's like, man, I have a hard time with it.
Yeah, understandably. We here at Thresholds of Reality, we have kind of open minds about everything. We're trying to get to the bottom of it. And John, it sounds like you have been hunting for a long time and you found a lot of great evidence. Where can people find your content? Where can people find your photographs, your videos?
I generally put them on my Facebook page, the Everything You've All Have Encountered, and then I belong to probably at least 20 different like Bigfoot Facebook pages. And I'll go on there and I'll post them on there too.
Well, very good. So if anybody wants to look into more of your content, they can look for you on Facebook under your name, John Sumner. And what's your hunting partner's name?
Robert. He has a hard name to last name to pronounce. It's like Deluski.
Yeah.
It's like something like that. I tell him all that all the time. I'm just gonna call him Ski.
Skeet. Well, John Sumner and Robert Gralewski, they're out there hunting for Sasquatches, and they like to go squatching. So if you know of anybody who's interested in that kind of thing, you can look them up on Facebook. That's where they're posting their content. The truth is out there somewhere, I'm sure, and hopefully we get to see some of those castings here pretty soon.
Yeah,
Again,
if you find something cool, be sure to let us know.
They're going to be like 16, maybe 17 inches. Well, easy, Kyle.
Doesn't every guy wish it was 17 inches?
Oh, man. Anyway.
But, sorry.
No, you're fine. We really appreciate you taking the time with us, John. And until next time, keep on exploring the edges of the unknown.